right, welcome back. We're in the shop again. Got our little 990 David Brown here. Last year, put a hydraulic pump on it, and all that worked out good. But what we're going to add to it is we're going to add a Power Beyond block to the remotes to run our loader off of it, so we don't have to run our loader off our remote valves here. Also, I've got a leak on one of my remotes, so I'm probably going to figure out what that is. Got some fluid coming out here when that you activate your remote. So we're going to pull all that apart and see what we can find out. Well, the first thing we've got to do is get to the remote, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the seat off. As you can see, this seat has about had it. It doesn't lock in place very good. So we're going to remove the seat here, and that'll be the first thing. And that'll allow us to get in here and have some room to move, because these tractors with these fenders and with that loader valve and everything, you don't have a whole lot of room to remove or get up in there and work. That's the worst thing about these tractors. Even getting on and off of them is a little bit of a pain. But they run pretty good. A little bit tough to work on, but we're going to yank this seat off here, and then we'll get to where we can get to our remote valve. Now that we got the seat removed, we can remove our top cover here. Now, if the only thing that we were going to do was to add our Power Beyond on here, which goes like this, all we would have to do is remove this top cover, put some new O-rings on there, and put the top cover back on after we installed that, and then have our fittings in there. We may not have enough power with this one. Well, look at there, folks. I don't believe I have ever broke a little 3/8 adapter on that. That's a first. Well, let me get a, here we go. Not much problem for it. I like the little one because it's much lighter, easier to handle, get in places. But what do you think of this? So we fixed the hydraulic pump last year, and all that worked great. We could run the tractor, run the hydraulics and everything, pulling the bat wing and all, and didn't have any problem with it dripping or overheating, not running or anything. I mean, other than the dripping, we didn't have any problem with it overheating or anything like that. Sure wish I had my adapter for this now. Let's see. That back goes shorter than that right there. You can see why it'll rise. Front goes much shorter. Front two looks the same. Came out. Exactly right. Came out. Still up there. This one. Alright, I got them laid out here on my fender. Kind of how they came out. And there's the cover. And basically, that would be the only O-ring I would have to install. So if I were just putting, oh, there's another O-ring right here. Actually, there's, if I open my eyes and actually look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's those 5, and one there. So what I would do is slide that on there. And I don't really know, I have to go back and look, but probably just the one right there. Doesn't show a lot on that. So this one's going to come off. This O-ring right here would come off. So for just putting this on there, you just need to replace these O-rings, which I will replace them. And you don't have anything on top up here. You've got that opening right there. So that will allow everything to set on there. Now, obviously, you'd have to have longer bolts because that bolt won't fit into anything. So my guess is the bolt that goes there, it won't bite on anything there. It won't bite on anything there. So longer bolts to install it. All right. But what we're going to do is we're going to set that out of the way. So that's if we were just doing a Power Beyond install. So probably I should have taken these hoses here off before I pulled that off. That would have been a wise decision. But I jumped the gun, got ahead of myself, and then pull them off. I need to redo this bracket and everything on there. And honestly, probably should replace these 4 hoses because I'm just kind of waiting on one of these to blow up in my face while I'm on there. So we'll get some wrenches and we'll loosen these hoses up right here and pull that valve off. Let's see what we can find in there. According to the book, if we take this cap here off, and you can't see that with the camera angle, but according to the book, if I take this cap here off, obviously it would be easy if it was a top one because I just spin it out. Our valve runs through here, and there's a couple of O-rings in there, and I got a feeling there's just bypassing one of those O-rings. So we'll have our O-rings for this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that 6th one right there. I'll probably have to have another 6 when I split this valve right here to pull this one here off, just like that. So another set of O-rings there. And I might see if I can get to that right now without having to take all that off and see what I can do with that. I'm going to set this over here out of my way. And then we'll see what we can do on getting that out of there. I'll tell you what I might do. Just going to drop these back down in here. Couple reasons. One, that'll help support that when I go to take that off, because the other way I'm going to have to do it is put on the bench vise, and I really don't feel like grabbing it like that. So I'll put a little hydraulic fluid down in there. Make threading them in just a little easier. I'll clean that off now, and we'll see if we can't break that loose without having to pull all that off there. Let me get some tools and get that done. Well, cleaned it up there a little bit. I'm sure that it takes a metric wrench, but I don't have any metrics that big, so 1 3/8 it looks like it is. Didn't take a whole lot. Now, I need to be extra cautious when removing this. I'll move some things out of the way. Just not any room. Can't really come up on the front side because of that valve right there and reach around. I almost have to remove the whole fender. So let's see what we got here. Get my glasses out where I can actually see something. All right. Got a little gooey in there. Now, push our valve out that way. So I may have to actually disconnect it to pull it out. I was hoping the cap would come off and I could get in there, but I may have to pull that out. Oh, there we go. Now there's some little detent balls in there. I was kind of anticipating them. Got 2. There's 3 detent balls in there. I felt the 3rd one. think it rolled off my finger down there. So let me get my magnet tray over here and see if we can't locate this third one. I had it on my finger, but then it kind of rolled off. Didn't hear it go tink, because it landed right down here on this floorboard in some junk right there. That's the 3 detent balls. Let me get a paper towel here. I think as much as I'd like to pull it out like this, I may have to pull it off of there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull the handle off and probably snake the whole thing through, which is no big deal. This handle goes on kind of like it's just like a master link. So I'll get some tools. We'll pop that out. I'll see if I can get y'all here where you can see what the handle looks like. So that's just kind of a master link right there. I just have to pop that out and slide it out. And then should be able to take that spool valve out. But I'm gonna have to go back and double check and do a little research in the book to make sure that's how it comes out. Again, working with IT manuals on this one too. There's not a whole lot of good information in an IT manual. I was looking at it and it doesn't give a lot of specifics there. But we'll read through that, see if we can pull that off, and then we'll be right back. There she came out. All right. I'll put a little sandpaper on that and clean it up before it goes back in there. Now, pull this valve out. There she is. And I would suspect that might be my problem. I feel like that O-ring was supposed to ride up on that right there. But we'll see. We'll get a parts manual out and we'll look at all this. Now it's supposed to split in here somewhere. And there's supposed to be another O-ring in here. I think this thread's out, this piece threads out of this. And there should be an O-ring in there. But we're gonna clean this up and get our parts manual out and see what all we can figure out on this thing. All right, so I want to pull this apart. This O-ring that went on this little coupler here, this fits up in here like this. That holds that from pushing on through the valve. And then I've got my cap on here. It's got my 3 balls in there, all right? And then that thread's in there, and that prevents that from coming. Now, I think this was probably my culprit, although I don't see anything real bad on it as far as any, a cut or anything. It's kind of squished out a little bit. You roll it around here a little bit, you can kind of see it's kind of gotten flat on that backside. That's probably it. But inside, or move this down and take it off. Inside of here, there is, as this goes in, there's 2 more O-rings in there. And what I did notice though is in here, if we can get to focus a little bit, there is a retainer, and we've gotten some rust in there because there's supposed to be a cap on the end of this. I'm going to have to get that cap, and that's allowed some water to get in there and some rust. And so what we've got is we've got a retainer right here, but unfortunately, as I'm looking at that retainer, it has a broken piece on it. So it's not a full retainer. So even if I didn't want to pull it apart and put those O-rings in, I'm probably going to have to. Now, That O-ring kit comes with a kind of a dust cup on this end. These 3 O-rings that we're talking about here, this one, the 2 in here, and I think there's 2 more and maybe another dust cup. And I'm not sure which ones they are looking at the parts manual, but it's a $93 kit. So we're gonna see. We're gonna try to pull it apart here. So really this centerpiece here has to be pushed in. And you can see that broken piece just fell out right there. It's on the end of my finger. So, wasn't gonna be long till this thing, another broken piece. Wasn't gonna be long till this thing was about to bite the dust anyway. I'm gonna try to stand it right here. Rotate y'all up just a little bit. Stand it right here and see if I can push down on this bolt. Screwdriver would probably have been better if I'd had one that would fit in the end. And maybe I can pop that ring out. I'm actually just going to push down on my foot. Oh, that ring is so busted up. Yeah. I am just flaking out that ring. So, yep, there went the last piece of it. So, let's see if we can pull this out. I think I got the last piece. Oh, there's a little piece in there. One more little piece. All right, now bring that out. Pull our spring out. Now, this piece should pop out. There we go. A little plunger. Then I'm probably going to have to do a little research on here to see what else is down in there. Oh, there it came out right there. There's supposed to be some shims in there, but there's an O-ring on that little piece right there. We can get to focus right there in the middle. There's a baby O-ring right there. And I should have another O-ring in there. Let me get a light and I'll be right back. All right, so according to the very bad picture I have, this piece here is going to thread out of here, and there should be an O-ring on the end of that. And then down in the far end of that, they call it a spring guide. There's a poppet valve spring, a poppet valve at the very end of it, and some shims. So I'm kind of going to have to figure out how to hold this without damaging it, and then get this clamped, or get a hold of something on this without damaging this, and thread that out, and then I can get to that inside O-ring. Let's see what we can come up with. All right, so I'm not sure if this will work or not, but I'm going to put me some cardboard in here. I got that locked down. I'm going to see if I can use my vice grips and maybe get a hold of it here to get it threaded out of here. That didn't hold. I'm trying not to damage that, so I'm trying to use this trick here, see if I can get a bite on it. And I can't. Some of it might be that these vice grips are a little too small. I got enough grip on it, but now we're spinning in here. Still spinning in there. Let's see if we can put something through my handle here to lock it down. I'm on the struggle bus today. I hate to do it with a pipe wrench. So let's see if we might be able to get a little better grip on it. Not able to get a grip at all. Not with the cardboard on there. Not working out. And I don't have a bigger pair of vice grips. I don't know what's happened to them. Almost sound like it moved a little bit though, didn't it? I'll have to find a bigger pair. Don't know where they've gone. Let me go see if I can find them. All right, couldn't find those vice grips, but look, finally got a good lock on there. Didn't even scoot any. Pulled it off here. This spring is under pressure, so I'm really hoping it doesn't go flying across the shop. We'll see what we can do here. Most of the pressure seems to be gone. There we go. And out she came. So we got more parts here. Said there was supposed to be a shim on the end there, but I didn't see it. And there's that O-ring. Oh, there's a backup ring right there. That's probably included in that kit. All right, so these are the things that we've got to get. If I order that kit, it's $95. May be worth it just to order it and make sure I get everything. I can take this to a local O-ring shop, but the time I drive over there and everything, I probably will just order it and get everything in, and we'll get to putting it back together.